someone in public relations that would educate the media that these were people who came from a culture, not robbers, not people who were dissident in behavior. And so President Coughlin began to adhere. Joan just wanted one thing. She wanted to get out of that hot sun, Timothy. After spending 2 days, she told him, in that hot sun protesting. And so once they began to give those 7 those demands, you saw a change. Let me tell you, when I came to this institution in 1989, October, said Danny White there. Danny White, step up a little bit. I'm looking at an image. Danny White he was with the Arizona Informant newspaper. And he might still be with it. But at any rate, it was to help with the images that we were having. And so the protest was in 1990. Should there be a Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. state paid holiday or not? And November 6, 1990, we were defeated by the state. Governor Mika was saying that Proposition 301, there should not be a holiday. We were Proposition 302, 2 propositions on the ballot. Proposition 301 should not be an 11th state-paid holiday, and Proposition 302, there should be an 11th state-paid holiday. And we got with, so 2 years from there, we decided to get with the Mormon Center, which was right behind us. We're in the middle, this building, Dr. King building is in the middle of so many different groups. The Hillel Center here, the Mormon Center here, the Christian Center half a block away. We were in the midst of it, all of the sororities and fraternities that are surrounding us. I began to meet with them to form a movement that we needed. We got with Jim Click. Jim Click, is he still around? He had a car dealership. The Better Business Bureau, Larry Hatton, wanted to run for mayor. So the Dr. King Center became very political, and we say, well, let's put a Dr. King built sign right here on the building. They wanted that little mini sign right here, but then Hargrove, being 36 years young, now 72, put up that huge sign around there, and that's when the rocks and the bricks came through the Martin Luther King window on the other side. But these groups, Asian American, Hispanic American, Jewish American, Native American, Latino, Hispanic, the white, black, everybody came together and said that we want this holiday bill defeated. And the more programs we began to fund and sponsor on this campus, the more this building was at the limelight that everybody came here, regardless of what ethnic group you were. Everybody came to the Dr. King Center. So John McCain caught wind of it. He was Senator John McCain from this state. And he got with Senator Paul Simon of Illinois and invited me to testify before the United States Senate Rules and Administration Committee for an African American Museum Act. 25 years later, that museum was approved, and that stands in Washington, D.C. right now. But it started out with them inviting me to testify from the African American Culture Center for a national act. You have to get the act before you can get the museum and the money's set aside for it. So give yourselves a big round of applause, making this Keynote the national drama, because you were one of the few centers that attracted students to organize. We had thought there was a model. Stanford University had a Black Cultural Center, they didn't call it African American. And then the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, where I received my PhD, had an African American Center. 500, Project 500 blacks from Chicago came to Urbana-Champaign, University of Illinois. And I had seen the model. And so when I got to this institution, I'd already seen the model of planning programs, events. And those programs and events, Robin Lemon's soul began to get to work. And we began to talk about, to advocate for the interests and articulate for the needs of this new generation of students. We'd already come through this monocultural society of primarily whites. And this is 1960. Then we moved to the 1960s to this dual culture society of black and white, and civil rights brought that about. And we moved to the 1970s of this tri-ethnic society of blacks, whites, and now Hispanics began to join into this movement for change. And now Public Law 94-142 was on the books in 1974 during this tri-ethnic society. And Hockley Park, an Asian American court case, began for San Francisco Unified School District to sue because they were not educating the Asian American students. They were not getting jobs. And so Hockley Park, the lawsuit came about and called for it was called bilingual education, brought about this movement for diversity. Hispanics began to join into that movement. So by 1980, we were living in a multicultural society. No longer tri-ethnic, no longer dual culture, no longer monoculture. Now, 1980s, we're living in a multicultural society. We're moving to the 1990s, and we saw this, where this society became pluralistic. Everybody began to participate in the fabric of this society. And we moved from the 1990s to the year 2000, because in 2000, this new concept called diversified society was coming about. And so we began to educate about this new society that will become diversified, where every culture has a right to exist. Every culture has a right to contribute. And indeed, every culture has a right to belong to the fabric of what makes this country great. We knew that beyond 2000 was this new concept called inclusion. Gay, trans, bisexual, queer. We knew that they were coming into the movement for making a difference for the lives of themselves as well. And so we're living in this inclusive society. These centers all over the nation have tried to make a difference. These centers all over the nation have made incredible impact. And now we predicted also that there would, once we make so much progress, that there will become a time where there will be pushback when it gets to the highest level of society. Because too much progress had been made from a monocultural society of the 60s to a dual cultural society to the 70s of or triumphant. To the 80s of a multicultural, and the literature was tremendously rich. To the 90s of the pluralistic society. To the 2000s of the diversified society. To now, the inclusive society. For everyone. That's the society you're a part of now. The dream must be kept alive, young generation. The dream is not dead. But if you listen to those who are at the highest rungs in this nation, the highest rungs of society, you will think that you can't do anything to make a difference. But you can. You must keep the dream alive. You must keep the notion of planning alive. You must continue to reach out to women, to children, to the Deuce Millennium generation, the DMG, Deuce Millennium generation. You'll hear them talk about Alpha generation, Beta generation, X generation, Y generation, Z generation. They're all part of this Deuce Millennium generation. Deuce Millennium, go back and read my book, Closing the Achievement Gap in America. Go back and read the chapters that talk about how this new society was going to come about and it's going to take young people with outstanding education, outstanding minds to develop themselves so that they can make a difference, continue to make a difference in this society, in this world. So as I end this message, in a civil rights style, I want you to pause and think, if only for a little while, that the purpose of life is to save and serve humanity. And if we all come together, we can all be free. Think about life and the great possibility within. Boy, it is love of our world's children that makes us all kin. Every day, share a kind word or even a song, and then you'll be able to say that I want to be the best that I can be, because I want to see the best come out of me. I want to know all there is to know, because I want to go where the green grass grows. Thank you, and I love you.